Hello and welcome to another episode of the Life in General podcast. My name is Nick.
I'm Ian.
Why do you guys sound like that?
I don't know. Why you gotta sound like that?
Hey, well, anyway, we are for the 20th time now in the history of our podcast. We are joined by my lovely wife.
By popular demand, I might add.
Yeah,
Hello.
back by popular demand. We've had requests for Mandy to be on the show more,
Yes.
That's funny.
so Mandy is on the show.
Here I am.
And actually, we're going to be talking about Mandy's topic today. When the sheet, so there was I don't know. I don't know if it's because me preparing for school and everything else. I just haven't had a whole lot of time to think about it and like topic wise. Mm-hmm. So just to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit, I sent Ian a text message and I was like, "Hey man, I don't know. I don't have a topic for the show. What do you think?" So Ian texts me back and he's like, "Well, you know, I'm at work, but I'll have some time tonight to think about it, and I'll email you in the morning some topic ideas." So I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, sweet, thanks." And then I woke up the next day and it's like, okay, well, it's early, so Ian's he might be asleep by now. So all right, I'll just give him some time. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, well, I guess I don't know. He never messaged me, so I guess I need to come up with a topic for this show.
I had a couple in mind. I just forgot to message.
So I was sitting on the couch and I was like, I don't know, Mandy, what's a good idea for this show? So what'd you come up with, Mandy?
Well, I don't remember how you phrased it, but it was how people in actors and musicians and
Celebrities, basically.
yeah, celebrities, how they influence us in general, and how much we should be taking
How much we should allow
take
them to
it
influence.
seriously. Yeah, how much? Yeah.
And whether or not we should really allow them to influence us so much.
And should they be in trouble for things? Because there are, certain celebrities that are getting in trouble or getting things pulled because of their opinions. And
Yeah. And it's, I don't know, it's a really interesting topic, too, because it's one that I kind of fall on both sides of it. I mean, I can see where maybe we shouldn't allow these people that, for the most part, probably aren't the most educated people on these topics to really influence. Take Jenny McCarthy, for instance.
yes.
The whole autism thing with her son, where she kind of kickstarted the anti-vax movement, and if she didn't kickstart it, she really put it on steroids with the whole, my son, he got his vaccinations and now he's autistic. And I think it's undeniable that there have been children that have been hurt in this country because of the way she was able to influence parents with vaccinations. So I could see that one side of it. And then I look at the opposite side of it. And there's you've got this Black Lives Matter movement that, celebrities are really helping to shine a light on. You look at what TJ Watt, the football player for the Houston, for the NFL team down in Houston a couple years ago, the Texans, where Houston had the flood, and he was able to really rally money and supplies to really positively help people in the Houston area. So that's why I said I could see both sides of the argument.
And they're Americans; they have the right to their opinion. And just because they have a platform doesn't mean that they shouldn't express their own views. Yeah. So, for me, what it boils down to is, we as individuals shouldn't take their opinions just because we like them in a movie or like a song they sing.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't. I disagree with a lot of people that I admire for what they do, but I disagree with their politics a lot because I think for myself, which is unfortunately asking a lot for this country.
I was thinking for Ian, but
No. I'm thinking for myself is probably the only thing I do well, for better or worse. But I do think for myself. The difference is that Americans as a whole, and maybe humans as a whole, I don't know, but Americans for sure as a whole do not like to think for themselves. Herd mentality is very, very strong.
Well,
in
plus,
this country.
if you think about it, it's so easy, to do what we do. Put out a video on YouTube or put out an audio clip on Podbean or whatever.
The difference is that we we're expressing a view, but
We also say that we are not experts on the things we talk
Right,
about.
exactly.
We're always talking about opinion. But that's what I'm saying, though, is if
of course we
you're,
don't have to. All you have to do is listen to us, and they know we're not experts on it.
Touche. But when you've got let's take LeBron James for instance, and I'm not going to use anything specific with him, but if it's easier for LeBron James to say, "Oh well, yeah, I'm just going to toss out a video on Instagram or whatever, a 2-minute video of something that I saw or thought about or his thoughts for the day or whatever," and he is able to influence literally thousands of people
Probably millions
with his
in this
just
case.
opinion on a 2-minute video.
Right.
And I think, does it say more about the celebrities that do that, or does it say more about we as a society?
I think it's a society.
that are made, or is it like this celebrity mentality that our society? I mean, hell, we're the country that elected a celebrity
Twice.
well, I was going to say a reality TV star
Yeah.
as president.
and a movie star.
A movie star's a little different, though. I guess it wasn't.
The only difference was that he was governor first, so he actually had some political experience. However,
Yeah.
he's still Ronald Reagan. Just the average citizen isn't going anywhere in politics. Ronald Reagan, the actor, he is his career before being governor is what got him the
Yeah.
governorship. So, and I mean Schwarzenegger too.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But I think it says more about us as a society. However, we are a society without, or not without, but celebrity to us is what royalty is to other countries.
Yeah.
So, why does the Queen have any influence in the
Yeah.
UK? Because especially with the modern monarchy, they don't do anything.
No, they really don't. They don't.
They are literally the epitome of a figurehead. Yet they still have influence.
Mm-hmm.
So why? And it's the same reason, the same thing you asked.
I don't
Why
know-
does George Clooney?
I
Have
don't know how
influence?
much influence the royal family really has anymore, though. Like
They
even
have. It's very similar to where our celebrities are. They can't change laws or make laws, but they can express what they think on social media.
But at least what
Prince
I
Harry
see,
and Prince
what
whatever.
I see from Prince Harry and what's the other one's name?
William,
William. No, that's the kid, isn't he? Or
kids George.
George? That's right. All right. So between those two, I don't really see them so much like the celebrities in the United States do, where a lot of it's opinion based.
Right.
And how they feel about issues. I don't really see the royal family
No,
do that.
because
so much.
They're not allowed to.
They're not allowed to.
But
yeah.
they're still going out and doing fundraisers, and they're doing.
And I don't have.
they're still talking to the press when they go and when they go to a sporting event and
Yeah.
stuff. They do have influence. It's not the same, and I think potentially a lot of American type influence could filter over with Meghan.
Yeah.
Through Twitter and Instagram, whatever. Because I don't think she's allowed to be on any of that, but I think she is. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how their rules are for how they.
No, but essentially, that's celebrity is to us what royalty is over there, or to other
I guess I can
countries,
see that.
for better or worse. And any weight we give to their opinions is just as stupid as is giving it to a royal family,
Yeah.
because again, what do they know? They know just as much as anyone else. So the difference is that Americans, we have a right. Well, they do too, but it's not embedded in our Constitution that we have to acknowledge these people.
Yeah.
It comes down to choice, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of different factors that kind of really go into it, though. I mean, it's like you've also got the rise of social media that makes them so accessible to millions of people. Also, I don't know. I've railed against social media literally since the very first episode of this show. So
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it these days either. I was probably more apologetic of it back then. I'm not anymore.
back in the day,
Yeah.
it definitely has its upside. Its ability to bring people together and keep.
But it doesn't anymore.
Well, it does, because if you got families that live, if your family's spread across the country or world, you're able to kind of keep track with people and at least try to stay connected. And
But the unfortunate thing is they have opinions too that you may not
Mm-hmm.
like.
that you never knew, and now you're being fed it
Inundated with
constantly,
it.
and then you feel conflicted because you're having to block some of these things because you just don't want to deal with it. But at the same time, it's a close family member, and you
Yeah.
got to put up with it almost.
Yeah, or people that you have been friends with for years that turn into anti-mask. People that think COVID is a hoax, and
You mean it's not?
ask the 165,000 people that are dead in the U.S.
Right.
The
I
U.S.
can't. They're dead.
Yeah, that was the whole point, Ian.
Yeah.
The U.S. has like almost a quarter of all the deaths in the world.
And we make up only 4% of the world's population.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Isn't that funny?
that's insane.
All boils down to leadership.
Well, it boils down to masks.
Yeah.
Because you figure a lot of like Asian countries and things like that, because of the pollution, have worn masks pretty regularly for decades.
Right. But
Jack-
it's leadership that,
Yeah.
Well, like Jack was saying, he said that we're the only place that politicized masks.
Yeah.
That everywhere else, it's just you do that.
do
That's
it.
what you're supposed to do. That's
Yeah.
what they told you to do. Where here it became a
Damn
left
it,
and a right
damn
thing.
it, we've got our freedom.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand
Give
where
me my
they get that.
guns, and I don't want your mask.
Yeah, I don't get that. I guess there'll just be less of them.
I
There'll
doubt
be a lot
it
less other people
because
too.
it's going
I
to be
know
the
that.
people that they give it to.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing I've seen a lot on social media lately is, and I don't want to get too far off into COVID and all that stuff, but I've seen a lot of stuff lately. They're like, oh, well, it's okay for kids to go back to school because kids are immune. And the president's even been saying this on when he's made his
6-year-old died in Florida the other day.
I know that. And there was like this camp, I think it was in northern Michigan, wasn't it, Mandy? Where there's like 60 kids that are all infected from this. So the kids are not immune to this. Kids are dying from it. We Ian and I have a coworker. She's not a kid, but she's definitely in her 20s, I think. Mid 20s, late 20s. She's currently sick with it now and it's pretty, it sounded like it was pretty rough shape there for a while, but
You have to remember that the kids have been the furthest removed from it. Our schools shut down immediately.
Right.
They were not allowed to hang out with friends. We didn't take our kids to the grocery store when we went anymore. They weren't going to the library. They weren't playing sports. There was no contact for kids
or
at
very
all.
little
And even when
contact.
things started opening up, it was the bars.
Right.
that were
You
the
still
big
weren't
problem.
taking your kids
Right.
for the most part.
Yeah.
So
No,
they
that's
didn't
true.
have
I didn't
any
think of that. Yeah.
exposure to it like we do.
So they were sheltered from a lot of it.
And to be fair, their immune systems are stronger. They're children. But doesn't mean they're immune. It doesn't mean that they're not going to die in some cases, even when they're not. When there's not pre-existing conditions.
But
But again, it comes from leadership, and maybe that's a big problem too. Maybe it's not just celebrities that we need to be ignoring, but people who are uneducated and still in a position of power.
well, we shouldn't be electing people that are uneducated.
Well,
in
Right.
no,
positions
we
of power.
shouldn't. But
But I think that's another kind of.
you have to deal with the Republican Party somehow.
Well, see, that's the thing is like for a long time, I didn't have a problem with Republicans or the Republican Party. I understood, a lot of the fiscal conservatism and things like that, and it's just, I think it was once President Blackenstein took office that and the way that the Republican Party and conservatives attacked President Obama and went after him like things with birtherism and things like that. They're complete bullshit, nonsensical arguments. I think
See,
is
I
where
don't know
they
how you
lost a
say
lot
that,
of their
though.
credibility.
You've got Reagan Republicans who are union busters. Basically, the Republican Party from Nixon on.
I'm not saying-
all they
I'm not
ever
saying-
wanted to do is destroy all of the social safety nets that Roosevelt put
Yeah,
into
I know.
place. Basically, destroy the New Deal. So I've never ever been on the same page as Republicans.
That's not what I said. I said I understood some of the areas they came from.
I understand them,
it's-
but I still don't like them.
Well, I don't agree with them, but I mean, there is nothing about Republicans today that I can get on this on board at any point with.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be partisan. It's. I think it kind of plays into this the whole topic we're kind of talking about too. Is this polarization of everything in the United States? There is no compromise for anything on any level with anything anymore.
I totally disagree with you, Nick, and I'm never
You're an
talking to you
asshole. I'm
again.
done. I'm done with the show. I'm done.
Indeed.
But yeah, it's just like literally everything. In a million years, I would have never thought during a worldwide pandemic where there's currently 750,000 people in this world that have died since the beginning of the year, that I would never think that wearing a mask would be so polarized.
Right.
Where it's the point where you've got Democrats will wear a mask, Republicans will not. And it just
It doesn't make
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's not a political issue.
It's not. It's a health issue.
Right.
You know, you can't tell me that, you know, if you're an average, you know, guy in his 30s, 40s, whatever, good health, you know, to say, oh, I'm not going to wear that mask. I don't care we need herd immunity. But when you've got a parent or a loved one who is in their, you know, 60s, 70s, who have failing health or poor health, have had health issues for 20, 30 years, how is that so narrow-minded and so selfish to say, look, I'm fine if I get it. Oh, well, I might infect or kill a loved one? Oh, fuck them.
Well, they won't say that.
They won't, but that's what it is.
But
that's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
Look, you know, during World War II, you know, everyone, the government charged everyone and said, look, everyone has to do their part. We all need, that we're in this together. We need to buckle down and do whatever is necessary to win this war, to defeat Nazism, to defeat fascism. And everyone got on board with it. Everyone did. And we're in the same point now. If we need a president that stands up there and says, look, we are all in this together. We all need to do our part to save everyone. It sucks. Do I like being locked down? Absolutely not. Do I like seeing businesses close their doors permanently? Absolutely not. But we need to do what we can to save as many lives as we can. And everyone has to do their part. And that's all it is. But somehow it's all been politicized.
Because of leadership. It's all boils down to leadership.
Yeah. And Mandy. It's all Mandy's fault.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah.
It's Mandy and Trump, you know. It's
Two sides of the same coin.
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's insulting. I can't even continue with that. I care too much about you, Mandy, to lump you in with that.
But, you know, look at how we allow celebrities, back on topic. Okay?
Yes.
Look at how we allow celebrities to influence daily health. You know,
Gwyneth Paltrow, her Goop.
What?
You know the Gwyneth Paltrow has that company Goop. It's like a holistic, natural.
Do you know about this, Mandy?
I know she has a candle that smells like her hoo-hoo.
Her vagina.
Yeah. And the putting certain types of
Like,
Lord.
why do you have a
certain
candle?
types-
Why do you have a candle that smells like salmon?
Ew.
putting certain types of healing stones inside your vagina.
Oh, like vajazzling.
No, this
No,
is
that's
inside.
just
You don't seal it.
decoration.
Yeah,
Oh.
these are supposed to like heal, alter the pH balance and stuff. Yeah, it's some crazy shit.
Really? Yeah, that's. I mean, so you've got things like that out there. But a lot of times, I think that celebrities portray like a lifestyle that is almost impossible for normal, average Americans to reach or maintain.
Right.
You know, and it's things like that, like health fads, because a lot of celebrities can get behind a health fad to push it, you know, for monetary gain, without really thinking of the consequences to the people that are living that way,
Right.
or some of the insecurities that their health fad is creating with yo-yo dieting and things like that. You know, where look, you're right. You might push this fad that might help people lose, 10 or 15 pounds, but in 6 months they gain 40 pounds. You know, because it's hard to maintain those and things like that. And it's like I think a lot of celebrities, athletes, entertainers, that push this kind of stuff don't really think of the long-term effects. And that's why I kind of say, it's on us also as a society to not allow them to influence us as easily as they do.
Right. Like I
Right.
said, it all boils down to personal choice
Yeah.
and thinking for oneself.
Or just being, but the thing is, like in today's society, look, man, if you take a 2-parent household, you got both parents working 40 plus hours a week. You've got, kids, you're worrying about what's going on with them, their school work, their after work, their after school activities, what's going on the weekend, taking care of your house, paying your bills. And a lot of times it's just, it's hard to be as educated on what's going on in health and things like that, to not be swayed
Influence.
so easily by celebrities.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm listening to you, but I'm also looking at Goop products.
Okay. What's,
Well, I mean, this isn't even crazy. It's just an eyeshadow brush, plastic with a little foamy thing at the end, right? Guess how much it costs for one?
I have no idea.
$45.
$58.
Oh, wow,
For
that's
one brush that you can buy at Walmart for like $2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then there's a rose quartz soothing face massage roller. It's basically just a roller with a quartz stone on it, and you're supposed to massage your face with it. What the fuck is that going to do?
It's snake oil, man.
Of course it is.
They push
Of course
snake
it
oil.
is.
So have you heard of the Angelina Jolie effect?
No.
So several years back, the actress announced that she said faulty genes, and she had undergone a double mastectomy, right? And so she encouraged people or women to have these gene testing, and they said that within like the several weeks or months after her announcement, this kind of testing, there was a 64% increase in gene testing for women. But in that 64% increase, there wasn't an increase in mastectomies that happened. There was actually a decrease. So she goes out and announces this to the world, and really, there's a lot of women that went through unnecessary testing, unnecessary worry, and everything else that goes along with it, really for nothing. I don't know. It's interesting to see how someone can do, a celebrity can do one thing and have such a huge impact. Like I said, they said there was a 64% increase in gene testing because of her announcement.
Well, something that's even far worse is remember in the 80s when MC Hammer wore those parachute
Oh,
pants?
Jesus.
And then other people wanted to wear parachute pants too? That was terrible.
I don't think there's anyone else that wore
That is
parachute
the,
pants. It was
that
like-
is the worst thing
it
that's
was-
ever happened to humanity ever.
It was MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice.
and a bunch of people who
my
wanted
stepdad with the tank top and a fanny pack and the white Reeboks.
I would say that Vanilla Ice was more of a disturbance to the
Let's
force
not-
of
let's
humanity than MC Hammer
Let's
was.
not assume or try to assign blame. Let's just look at parachute pants for the evil that they are. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's how joggers are formed now, though. If you've seen joggers, they're bigger at the top and then they get real nice and tight at the end.
Oh, you
Are
know,
those the type of pants?
so
Oh, yeah.
those are the kind of pants that they had banned the clerks from wearing at work.
I didn't know they banned any.
Yeah, you're not allowed to wear those pants at work.
Oh, I didn't know you could.
I thought you had to wear scrubs.
Yeah, but they make scrubs
Oh.
like those too.
Gotcha.
I didn't know that. I just get
They've
my
got,
scrubs.
like-
I get my scrubs
they've
from
got-
work,
The
so
tight.
They've got elastic around the
I get my scrubs from work. So
I don't know. So do I.
So I never noticed.
Because I'm a cheap bastard and I just get mine for free from work.
Right. Actually, I'm due for a free pair this year because I didn't get my new ones this year.
Well, you should probably order yours because it took me like 4 months to get mine.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway,
But anywho,
because no one wants to hear us talk about our work scrubs, Ian.
I didn't bring up work scrubs. I brought up parachute pants, which is a far more dangerous situation.
Parachute pants. No.
Yes.
Speaking of that, hey, I just bought the MC Hammer record. I haven't listened to it yet though. What I don't even remember what album it was. It was that popular one though.
Hammer Time, wasn't it? Wasn't that what it was
No,
called?
it wasn't Hammer Time.
Oh.
Please Hammer, don't hurt him. That's what it is.
Oh.
That's a good
I
one.
was never a MC Hammer fan ever.
Was anyone
ever.
like really like a real MC Hammer fan?
I don't know.
Mandy probably wasn't.
No, I just knew the popular.
Mandy was you were probably listening to a lot of New Kids on the Block at that time.
Well, I listened to MC
No,
Hammer,
Hammer
too,
came out
but-
after though. I mean, he was kind of a natural progression for younger girls who were doing like New Kids on the Block, who maybe like 2 or 3 years later.
We're
would want something-
too legit to quit.
Indeed, yes, something slightly more mature than, I don't know. My sister had one of MC Hammer's seed tapes,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm assuming that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I was never a fan.
Fuck no, I never was either. You know me.
I listened to a lot of stuff though at that time. Like I got into like Crisscross and things like that. And,
So does my sister. She had their cassette too.
yeah. I guess Crisscross was a little later than MC Hammer.
A little bit. Not
A couple
too much.
years. Because, yeah, it was probably 92.
Yeah, I wouldn't go much further than that.
Yeah. I was definitely in like I was in 7th grade. So yeah, I had to been like 92 when that was really popular. Because I remember going over to your house, listening to it in my Walkman.
Had I known, I wouldn't have let you come over.
Whatever. Ian sitting in his bedroom listening to Jethro Tull.
I wasn't actually listening to Jethro Tull that much yet then.
Actually, I remember that
Still
summer.
Alice Cooper and Ozzy and
That summer, I
Metallica.
got into Iron Butterfly that summer. I listened to a lot of Inagata Davida that summer.
Interesting.
What you've heard that song before, haven't you, Mandy?
I'm sure I have.
Yeah,
This sounds like rock and or roll.
that's a great episode of The Simpsons. Bart switches the music on Sunday morning
music.
to Inagata Davida, but I think he named it In the Garden of Eden, and he gave it to the pianist, and she sat there and played like.
And it's 20 minutes long, and then she finally
like-
dies.
But it's got like everyone in the church sings the song. It's great. It's a great
And
episode.
then Reverend Lovejoy says, this sounds like rock and or roll.
Yeah. Actually, Sean just watched that episode of The Simpsons like last week. I thought it was great. This one within the last couple of weeks. I was like,
It is still one of the best episodes ever.
Yeah, it's a great one. But yeah,
Because that's the one where he sells his soul, isn't it?
I don't think so. Not in that
Maybe
one.
I'm mistaken it then, but
I don't know. It's I don't know.
we probably should revisit The Simpsons at some point.
How about we revisit
Right.
our topic?
Oh,
We have a topic? Since when? I thought this was a free for all.
might as well be.
Marcus Welby,
Oh my
as your husband would say. I stole that from Nick.
I haven't said that in a long time.
I think he probably said it within the last 6 months.
Really?
I can't even say it without hearing. He has changed everything.
How I changed everything, Mandy.
Because you change the words for everything, so I can't hear a song or I can't say the same thing over and over again without hearing the
You know-
way you say it, and it's very irritating.
You know who I blame
Very
all that
irritating.
on?
You,
No,
yes.
David Spade.
Why?
Because David Spade had that bit. Like,
So what you're saying is not only are you annoying, but you're you copy people?
yeah, because he was talking about how the song Wham, or the band Wham, and what's the
I don't know the name of the song, but I know it. I know his version of
David's-
it
because
because I
David-
can't hear the original version of the song.
No, 'cause
All I hear is his version of the
David
song.
Spade was talking about how he didn't know bands when he was younger were gay. And he's like, Queen, I would never guess. And he's like, Wham, you put your ball sack into my mouth.
That's not the line of the song.
Boom, boom into my heart.
Yeah, that's what it is. Ball sack into my mouth. It's whatever. I don't know. So I had fun with it. I remember when I worked at a place down in Tennessee, and me and my couple of coworkers I worked with, they'd have like the modern music or whatever, pop music playing over the radio, and we'd have a contest, so who could come up with the craziest shit to change songs into. So
Well, hell, Weird Al made a whole career out of it. So.
well, that's true. That's true. I also like
Don't do it.
what?
Just don't do it.
What's the Christmas song
I
I was
knew
singing? Walking around in
Walking,
women's, walking around in women's underwear. Yeah, that's always a good one. Mandy hates that too.
But that's
Wonderland.
Winter Wonderland. Yeah, at least I can remember the original of that. And I hate Christmas music.
Oh, Christmas music is the best. I don't know what else do I change the lyrics to, Mandy? What are some of my biggest hits?
Wow.
Mighty high of you, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I can't think of any.
I
other
can't
ones.
either right now, but something will come to me. It's everything. Literally almost every song.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, no.
The worst one is the Wham one for me because
Yeah.
I can't even hear
I
that
can't.
song
Nope.
without.
But that's not me.
singing
That's,
those
that's,
lyrics.
that's David Spade.
That was David Spade, but you took it to a whole nother level with
yeah,
us.
the nth
'Cause-
degree.
Yes.
I don't know. I just have fun with it. I think it's a sign of creativity. Just to kind of.
Okay.
That's like
Because
sounds
I-
like those people who like shit on like canvases and say, "I think it's art."
Right.
The people like squirt paint in a toilet and flush it. and
Right.
Take
It is art.
Take
It's-
a picture of
I'm
the-
being
of the-
creative.
yeah.
Look at me.
But the kids do it now also.
Yeah.
So that's great. Well, I think it's really Reese. We,
Sean does it a lot. I
Does
think
he?
too. Yeah.
it's fun. It's creative. You kind of think of different ways to change.
It's
songs
art. Yeah, we get it.
It is art. It's poop on the wall.
Poop on the wall.
Oh Jesus. But I don't know. Do you think it's like, are we too like overly enamored with celebrities?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And not even just celebrities. It's the idea of celebrity. That's why reality shows are so popular.
But is it? I wonder if it like goes more towards like, for a long time, the American dream was what? It was, being able to
become famous,
No. The
Oh.
American dream for a long time was being able to afford a nice house,
yeah.
have be able to send your kids off to a good school, be able to retire, go on vacation every couple of years, and to have this nice life. And that's not the American dream anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The American dream is to be rich and be famous. That they're just, temporarily inconvenienced millionaires is what everyone is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting to kind of think of how people kind of rationalize some of the things they look at and trust and believe. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Well, when you say that, I mean,
I'm looking for
well, when you
for
say
people
that,
to expand and discuss.
when you say that could go even beyond celebrity.
Celebrity.
When we're talking about accepting and believing, I mean that's Fox News, even MSNBC. If you want to be,
I think a lot of that started.
bipartisan about it.
I think a lot of that started in the 80s, though. It was the whole greed is good movement. That
Damn, Michael Douglas, it's all his fault.
that's a great movie, though.
Yeah, it's all right.
Have you seen the new one? The new Wall Street with is it Shia? No, who's in it?
The sequel, you mean?
Yeah, the sequel.
No, I never saw the
It
sequel.
was actually pretty good.
Michael Douglas is in it.
Yeah, he is. But I don't remember who the other. I think it is. What's his name? Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think.
It came out when I worked at the video stores, and I should remember, but I don't.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Did you just yell at us for not?
I got nothing. Sorry, guys.
Celebrity. What else? I mean, it's. I don't know. It's how do you? So what's the way to solve it all? I mean,
Mass lobotomies.
oh Jesus. Thanks, Ian. Thank you for
Well,
your.
you asked for a suggestion. I gave you one. I didn't say it was the right one. It's a suggestion.
I'm gonna sit back and enjoy my chip. Discuss.
Discuss. Well, mass lobotomy. And I know what people are going to think. They're going to say, "Well, how do you determine who gets the lobotomy?" I say anyone who
I deserve.
belongs
I'll be the one that.
gets the lobotomy.
No. That tells everyone who does.
Oh, Jesus.
You just keep eating your Doritos. All right, chomp down on your Doritos.
Product placement.
Your corn chips. Your cheesy corn chips.
And they're not cheesy. They're cheese flavored.
Cheese flavored.
There's probably no cheese. There's no real cheese in them.
Your
Fake cheese dust.
Eat, yeah, I was gonna say, eat your corn chips with the fake cheese dust on them. No, mass lobotomies for anyone
Scold him, Mandy.
who, perhaps votes Republican would be nice. That would be a good indicator of someone who requires a lobotomy.
But
I think that would actually solve a lot of the problems.
There's there's a lot of celebrities I think do a lot of good though.
Did you watch Bill Maher last night?
No.
Chris Evans was on last night, and I guess
Who's
got
that?
Chris Evans.
Who's Chris Evans?
Stop. Jesus.
I know.
He started a. I didn't really get a good idea of what the thing was, but he's pretty involved, but it's all about education and educating people in politics and stuff like that. He didn't seem partisan or anything, but you should watch that because that's an example of a celebrity doing something that's I think is okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of them out there that are, though. And it's just, and maybe it's because we see celebrities like Kid Rock and
Doing the wrong things.
doing the wrong
Yeah,
things.
Yeah.
Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent, Kanye.
Kanye is the king of that, unfortunately.
You know, you take a guy like Kid Rock. You know, he's like he had a respectable career. You know,
Yeah.
and I think he's because of a lot of his stuff in his personal life and the points or the viewpoints he uses. I think he's lost a lot of credibility with his fans because of it.
Well, I would argue I don't know why he has fans, but okay.
But maybe that's why he switched more so to country music and got away from the rap and things like
Right.
that because he knew
It's difficult to be
his
racist
personal-
and also, taking from that culture.
yeah.
Making money on that on a culture that you obviously think less of.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm being very kind of aggressive about it. I do not like Kid Rock. I've never really been a big fan of Kid Rock, but now I really fucking hate him.
Yeah, I can't. It's hard for me a lot of times to separate the person from their artistry.
Generally, it's not that big of a deal for me, but when they're so vocal about it, like Kid Rock, like Ted Nugent,
See, but that's the
It's-
thing is
it's
like
worse.
before I even knew Ted Nugent's political views and things like that,
I was never a big
I
fan
was
either.
never a big fan of
no,
his.
but I've never hated him. I fucking hate him now.
rightfully so.
Well, I
think.
actually started hating him when I found out that he claims to be a big game hunter, but he actually has animals flown into his property so he can shoot them.
yeah, they're fenced in. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I know.
they've been literally flown in. They're already discombobulated because they're in a completely new environment. They've been on an airplane. They were wild caught,
yeah.
and now they have to. And then he kills them and says it's sport.
I know. I
That's
know
like
you.
that's like
It's-
clubbing someone on the head, and then shooting them and saying, "Oh, I hunted them down."
yeah.
I don't know. It's just
No, I get it.
I've hated Ted Nugent since then, and then of course his political views beyond that have just made it even worse.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people out there that I think. I'm trying to think of somebody else that is kind of along those lines. I guess Kid Rock, I guess I wasn't a huge fan of his music. I was a casual fan of some of his songs.
Well,
And then-
and I guess I should confess that I maybe because I'm so angry and because they're on the other side of what I believe. Because when you take someone like Justin Timberlake, who did a lot of campaigning for both Hillary and Barack, and is very motivated in the same way that Kid Rock and Ted Nugent are for Trump, but was
Yeah.
for our side, I don't have the same animosity for him. So I have to
Because
confess
it's not
that.
based on hate.
Well, that's
Yeah.
true. That is true. But
A lot of their opinions
ideally-
and views that.
Hey, Ted Nugent is also a pedophile. Also, let's remember that.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, didn't he marry his 14-year-old?
Well, in the state of Michigan, that's legal.
No, it's not. 16's of the age of consent in Michigan, but
Forced child marriage is legal in this country,
okay.
in this state.
yeah.
Anyway, I'm not condoning it. By the way, I'm just saying it's legal. Why don't we change that fucking law? But anyway, but I'm just saying that there is a level of hypocrisy on my part because I am calling out these people for their political views because I disagree with them and saying I don't like them. But at the same time, I don't have any animosity towards someone like Justin Timberlake because he's on my side.
He makes good music too.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Just in my opinion. Now, I don't want to criticize, but I'm not a big fan of his music. I like the Dick in the Box song. I think that's funny. I do like that.
I think it was more Andy Samberg than.
Probably, but still, it was funny as hell. But that being said, I should point out that there is a small level of hypocrisy on my part.
Yeah.
But like Mandy said too, there's no hate on his end.
It's not coming from a get rid of this. It's promote good things and
Right.
Ashton Kutcher with the trafficking and
Yeah,
just
exactly. See, I
things
don't
like
have
that.
a problem
It's-
with those things, but
it's
and there's really
positive
not
stuff.
a big difference other than like you said, it's positive and negative. You can't say one can do it and the other one can't.
right.
So I don't know.
But then also, how do you go about like these famous people that are getting penalized for it. So, like with the Dixie Chicks and stuff, when they do say their
yeah.
comment, at what point do we? Oh well, that's their opinion. Should we go ahead and ruin their whole careers because
Well,
of that?
I think
Like, that's-
Dixie Chicks is a great example because it really did end their career.
And it was done by this very people who are anti-cancel culture, which is ironic.
Yeah,
Tends to be the conservative, side of it, who's like cancel culture. You can't do that. People have a right to say whatever they want, except when it's against them.
right.
So,
So that's just kind of where I was thinking with that.
well, they're
Although-
just the Chicks now, aren't they? Right?
Yeah.
No, they're not the Dixie Chicks anymore.
yeah. Which I don't.
They did say it was a good thing for them, though, because they couldn't really go any further up in their career where they were at. So
Yeah.
it was a good, humbling experience for them to just step back and go into real life.
I wasn't a big fan of their newest album though. I listened to it. It wasn't that great. I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of like 16-year-old country pop.
Yeah, and I feel like they kind of because of everything that happened, and it's interesting to see what their career would have turned out to be. I think if had there not been that backlash against them from the country music scene.
I think it might have been the end anyway.
You think so?
I can't really recall but one song or two from that last album that they did, and then
Yeah.
like the one or two FUs off the new or the CD right after that all happened. That was
Yeah.
really all I recall from that. But
I don't know.
there was somebody else that's what brought this topic up, but I can't remember who it was. That just had the same thing happen to them. I don't know if it ruined their career, but it just
the Lady Annabelle.
no, it wasn't something like that. It was
Because
their
they
opinions on
did that to
something.
themselves. Lady Antebellum did. They changed her name because Lady Antebellum has
So
southern
they
racial.
changed it to Lady A, and now they're suing the lady that's gone by Lady A for
years.
50 some years.
Yeah. So who's also African American.
Yeah, I know. And look,
You guys,
I understand some of it, but I don't look. I mean, look, you've been Lady Antebellum for
right?
decades.
And how many people even knew what that meant? I know I didn't. Sorry, but I didn't know. I just thought it was their name that they came up with. And was like,
I don't
oh,
think
okay.
people.
I always knew it had a southern,
I don't-
plantation type
but-
sound to it, but I didn't know what it
I
meant.
don't think people really attached the underlying subtle racist tones to those words though with those bands. Lady Antebellum isn't going out on stage in a Confederate flag dress.
Right.
The Dixie Chicks aren't flying Confederate flags at their.
Absolutely.
Well,
The
no,
opposite.
and right.
Yeah.
Let's just say the Dixie Chicks would have been opposite. They were
Yeah.
they were canceled because they called out the Republican Party.
Yeah, well, they call it George Bush, but and also I think a lot of it kind of goes to this whole movement that I've noticed, really since I guess in the last 20 years, it's really picked up steam. Where, the term patriot has become this like dog whistle racist term. Whenever you see someone say "I'm a patriot," generally they've done something racist.
Right. Unfortunately, yeah. Or they're attacking you for not being racist enough in a sense.
Yes.
Because, black people getting killed by the police, they shouldn't be breaking the law. But then there's a law that says wear a mask, and they're like, "Fuck you! I ain't wearing a mask."
Oh, by the way, I know we talked about it on an episode a while back about the whole riot that started after George Floyd was killed, and the guy with the umbrella that no one knew who he was. They had the hammer. That
Yeah. I
started
saw the
riot.
video of him doing it.
So they found out who the guy was, and he's a white supremacist. That's from up there. He's part of the state militia or whatever. Yeah, big surprise.
Yeah, big surprise. I don't know. Like I said, it's tough. I don't give a shit what celebrities say. I really don't. Unless they're so utterly vocal on on negative stuff like
Yes.
the Ted Nugents.
Yeah.
But I don't pay attention otherwise.
Yeah, but I think look, I understand that you got this platform, and I'm all in favor of you using it. I just think that there has to be some kind of like societal obligation to be as educated on a topic as possible before you engage in it. And I feel like
wholeheartedly agree, but you live in the United States. That will never fucking
it'll never
happen.
happen. I understand that, and it's like, but outside of that, I mean, it's then the societal obligation is on you as the receiver of that information.
Right. No, I agree. I agree 100%. It's just, but you and I and Mandy, we're capable of thinking for ourselves. We're somewhat educated. Some of us more than others, but
Yeah.
we're all in a level of education.
She's talking about you, Mandy.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was talking
okay.
about you.
Mandy has more education than me and Ian combined.
Yes. So my point is that we're the exception. We are not the rule.
Yeah.
Because we live in a country that 23% of this country believe the earth is only 6,000 years old.
Hey,
What does that tell you about the education system?
But Ian, the Earth is flat.
I wonder what the
Hey,
percentages of
by the way, I want to talk about that real quick. I saw a video where a guy was talking about he's standing out in his yard. This is really funny. God, I love this kind
Well,
of
this
stuff.
is still topical because it is expressing the lack of education in
Yes.
this country, but okay.
So this is a video of this guy because hey, look, since we've been doing the Vinyl Den on YouTube, go check it out. By the way, it's really good. So anyway, I've been watching more YouTube videos because I've been kind of getting into this like crazy conspiracy stuff.
Right.
So this guy's standing out in his yard and he's like, "Look, it's whatever time of the day it was. It's 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I can see the moon. So that right there proves that the Earth is flat." I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?"
What happens tomorrow when you can't see the moon, or a
Yeah.
week from now when you can't
He's
see
like,
the moon?
he goes, if the Earth was round and it's nighttime on the opposite side of the Earth, why is the moon right here?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the American education system
Has failed.
has failed you.
Yeah, I thought
Not
that
the educators, the system itself.
Yeah, it was
Because we
great.
have an educator on our show today. I don't want to lump her in with this, but
Thank you.
the system itself has failed you.
it was a really interesting video though because he was very convinced that was the proof.
You know,
that the Earth
I
was flat.
actually questioned that once myself. I was 5, but I did question that too.
yeah, it's
For the same reason, I was like, "Why is the moon out? It's daytime."
yeah.
And my grandmother, very calmly explained it to me as a 5-year-old, and it took about 5 minutes, maybe 10, and then I understood it and went about my day.
Yeah, not to this guy.
Yeah, apparently not.
Yeah, I also love the ones that are like they set a can or a bottle on the ground, and they're like, if the Earth was round, this would roll. Like, what kind of fucking argument is
and
that?
try and find the one. I don't remember, but he uses a like the swinging gate as an example, based on like he puts stuff on like different parts of it and then moves it, and it's
What?
it's really fucked up. It's fucking weird, man.
Mandy, do you think the Earth is flat?
No, why?
We just pointed out
Hey,
how she's
by-
the most educated one
By
here.
the way, I want to say that's the response that everyone should have. Mandy.
Yes. Yeah, you that was kind of a give.
Okay.
gimme
But there's a
answer.
lot of people that are like, yes, the Earth is flat.
Or
And you want to know something? Back to celebrities. You have celebrities that are pushing the idea that the Earth is flat.
yes, and that works for some people.
And they're celebrities. They've been in airplanes before. They have seen the curvature of the Earth because I have seen it with my own 2 eyes.
Me too. I don't know
But it's all a NASA ploy to
what.
what? That's exactly the point. With these-
I don't understand what they talk about it. They're like, they're just selling this idea to you for what?
What's the purpose? What's the gain?
Are those little plastic globes that they sell us? Is that like a multi-trillion-dollar a year industry?
But even if it was,
be.
Ian, you could take it and make a flat one and make trillions of dollars off it too, wouldn't you?
right. So
Those
I
are
don't
called
understand.
maps.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's get back to the education.
Right.
Thanks, Andy.
That's why you need to be here. You need to set us straight because the two of us would have kept going. We just came up with this great idea: a flat Earth mat or a flat Earth globe plate. You put the flat Earth on
Yeah,
it.
and you'll actually be able to see like everywhere,
Right.
Because it's flat.
Exactly. You can even like find destinations and travel.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Ian. You could actually like, if you could like blew it up, you could even draw like roads and stuff
Exactly.
on it too, and you'd be able to find where you're going.
You don't have to blow up the whole thing; just little sections of
Oh
it.
my gosh! In the United States, you can make like 50 different ones. Think of all the money you can make off of those.
I know.
And they'd be like flat, and you can probably fold them up and probably even put them in your glove box if your
Right.
GPS wasn't working on your car. Fucking incredible! I think we should
We just blew it right open, wide open. We're gonna make a fortune.
Selling, we'll call them flat globes.
Flat globes.
There you go. You run with that.
Oh, man.
We can make it sound. We can do it really fancy. We call it an atlas.
Oh.
Whoa.
No, you can't. Only put all of them together.
Oh, right.
No one's going to buy that, though.
No.
That's a fantasy.
Much like a round planet.
I still
Or-
have my road map in my car from when I turned 16.
Do you really?
I keep it in my glove box.
For
I think
what?
a lot of things have changed since then in Michigan, but
Yeah. There's probably lots of new roads. And
maybe.
everything.
But I still hold on to it because it's neat.
I miss the days when I had a road map on my arm, but
I don't get
it
it.
was a heroin joke.
Oh.
Heroin road map.
Bad joke. Ian.
Apparently.
It's not funny when you have to explain the punchline.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? We might have some heroin addicts out there who listen to our show and they're like,
Probably
know
not.
exactly what you mean, brother.
I was thinking like the state of Michigan is your hand,
Right.
but
But this is the only state where you can use your hand as kind of a guide to where, you know.
no. Sean swears up and down you can do Tennessee also.
You kind of can.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 fingers in is.
Oh, always 4 fingers. Always 4 fingers.
You got
You
that
got to
joke.
open that wide open.
Yeah, they would open it up wide open again. Oh, fist my
But
soul.
start slow with 1.
Oh,
Work your
well,
way
yeah,
up
you
to
gotta
2.
Work, no, see what you gotta do is you gotta like cone your fingers
Oh
a little
my
bit,
gosh.
and then you gotta work it in there, and then once you're like
What-
in
This was
there,
such a good conversation.
What-
I thought we were going to make it. We almost made it with no F-bombs and no
No-
sexual references.
I want to know.
No fisting
I want to know what
jokes.
kind of sex you're talking about. You're basically talking about drilling a hole. Well, you got to be.
Ian, what do you think you do with a penis?
You got to
drill
caress.
a hole.
No, you got to caress. You got to be gentle. Start with 1 finger.
Oh, my Lord.
But you're not.
You're
gonna
not
start-
just. You don't just shove it in
No,
there.
no, that's not what I'm saying though. You can't start with 1 finger. We can't
Do
talk
not
about that.
tag me in this video. Do not tag me in this video.
It's an audio.
I am audio whatever.
I don't understand why you're not even getting involved. You're the only one who has one.
I got fingers.
I'm talking about what the fingers are going into.
They can go into anything. They can go into butts. Ian.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking about butts right now.
Oh,
I'm
well,
talking about JJ's.
ears. Oh, that's talking about ear.
Oh, so I'm the only pervert here.
You are.
I see.
God, you fucking weirdo. But it's
So you
Anyway.
put 4 fingers in your ear?
sometimes. Back to maps. I'm just joking.
We're supposed to be talking about celebrities.
Yeah. Oh gosh, but I don't know. It's that's kind of all I had on it, guys. I thought it was a really interesting kind of topic when Mandy approached me with it. So I don't know. Thanks for being on the show, Mandy.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Do you guys want to say anything else, Mandy? Do you have anything to promote?
All I can
Get
say
out
is,
there and vote.
Yes,
Hey, there you go.
yes,
Look
vote.
at that. See the smart one amongst us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you guys?
I didn't go that
Did you
far.
have any trouble? Did you voted by mail for the last?
Yeah.
I went to the polls.
I did
on
too.
Tuesday. I
You
didn't
al-
have any.
Ian, you always go to the poll. Sexual reference, Mandy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Mandy doesn't
Hey,
get the sex
hey, hey!
jokes.
You know what? I may go to the polls, but I also use my fingers.
Oh.
Anywho.
At the same time?
Well, you never know.
Is that like a reach around still? Or
A reverse reach around?
I mean, is it like this? It's like,
I don't know.
like
Not even looking at you right now.
do they call that like Chinese finger cuffs? Or
Ew.
all right,
Anyway,
go on, vote.
I went to the polls because I wanted to see. I didn't fill out my absentee ballot anyway, so I was like,
You know, you can fill out your absentee ballot and then walk in and drop it off, right?
yeah, I know, but I didn't take it. I go after work, so I didn't have it with me. So I just figured I'd go in.
I like the
But I-
process.
Me too. But with what's going on, I don't want to be irresponsible either. So I figured since it's open, I made sure I had my mask, and I went in just to see how it was going to be. And they had a pretty good setup.
I thought so too.
The lady sanitized my driver's license.
Oh, that's cool.
That's nice of her.
Yeah, I mean, she was wearing gloves, and I handed it to her, and she took it like she could see the disease on it. Set it down on the
Yeah,
table.
That's how I do when I'm at check-in and I take people's IDs. That's
I do the same
exactly how I
thing.
do the same thing.
But she set it down on the table, and then she took sanitizer and sanitized where it was sitting, and then she handed it over with the little card that she filled out to the next person. But literally, with gloves on, was like it was Like I
disease-ridden.
like I pulled it out of my asshole in front of her. That's how she was holding it, which was fine with me. You know, whatever works.
Pull things out of your asshole
Yeah, well, don't you?
and then reinsert them.
Well, depends on where the mood takes you, Nick.
But anyway, get out there and vote.
Yes,
I
go out and
encourage
vote.
everyone to vote. I voted by mail. I thought it was a really easy
Yeah,
process.
you can turn if you do the absentee, you can turn it at the post office, Secretary of State, at the polling place, anything. So, like Nick said,
Anything else,
just
guys?
vote.
Yeah. All right. Well, any questions or comments, you can email us at contact@ligpodcast.us. Check us out on Twitter. Ian, what's our Twitter handle?
I don't know. Go to Twitter and find out.
At
Twitter, LIG.
@LIGpod.
Yes, what he said.
We're on Facebook, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, just about everywhere else. Mandy, thanks for being on the show with us today.
You're
Yes.
welcome. Thanks for having
Hopefully this won't be the last time.
me. Yeah.
This is Mandy's 20th appearance in the show, though.
Oh, one more time and you can drink.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, until next time,
Talk to y'all later.
peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Your old lady drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you some cobras, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, the niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bruh. We taking the dub, hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.
Oh shit, watch out, you the god, Billy Ocean. Right now, and I'm smiling in your face, bitch. With a gold smile, you should probably make placement to your eye, niggas sick as fuck. Standing with niggas who down for that party, who down for some bitches who showing their bodies. Swear to God, nigga, this Molly got me up and rolling. These bodies of water, bring that shit in bottles. We mosh at the party, that hit when we started. Wildin' out of the party.